I'll be right back. No, okay. Don't exert yourself. We need you good and ready. Show, the television show that starts at 10. Somewhere in there. I could actually go figure out what time. I think it's over there. I think it's just going to be behind us. But they're planned for it to be bigger. Just waiting. And like I was saying earlier, this crowd is not the younger, more like college people. Just there's a handle right there. There's a handle for yeah. Yeah. You got it. Okay. I wonder who that is.
Hey y'all,
yeah. Wow.
We're getting started soon, but I just want to let folks know that there is some cold water, there is some Gatorade, there are some snacks, and they're for the people. Just, you don't even have to ask, come up and grab it, stay hydrated please. And notice there's some people holding banners right here. When we start our program, we'd love for some people to hold banners even over here. And so we have 3 really nice ones, they're very cool. Actually, Bentley, will you help me hold one up so we can kind of... There we go, Chris. Pull it up real easy. I mean, these are really nice. These are great. And they're very lightweight. You can even have 2 people holding it while sitting down. All right, I see a hand up over there. We got 2 more. They're lovely. We got 2 more banners. Anybody willing to be... All right, how about that? Oh, we got it. My God, come on down. Come on down. This is amazing. You can eat, y'all can go wherever you want. As the celebration round me increases, I know my own blood gets smashed into pieces. And as the sky lights up from bonfire, I know some... All right, and please help yourself to water, help yourself to snacks. We're gonna get started soon. Don't know
Don't know how we could be so naive. Raise the glass and cheer as we toast to the new year while them a lie and deceive. I said it's New Year's Eve, and I don't know what to believe. Scheming and plotting in Washington and Tel Aviv. Murderous plans that cause my people to grieve.
thinking the same thing earlier, like, what time is it? Or maybe 8:30. Maybe 8:30. You ready?
One of our guys is here. Let's move away from the speakers. I think he's beating people first. Streaming, right?
Yes, but I'm still gonna roll anyway.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right, and we're now.
And you know the drill. First name, last name, please spell.
Yep. Mawuli Davis, M-A-W-U-L-I, Davis, D-A-V-I-S.
And your title for the purpose of this story?
So I'm the president of the Georgia chapter of the National Conference of Black Lawyers.
So why be out here for this vigil? Why protest?
We're just trying to make it very clear. We say no to wars. Atlanta's saying no to war, no to genocide in Palestine, no exceptions. And we have to, in this moment, be clear about that. And most of our work has been organizing in local, organizing spaces around police brutality, trying to stop violence. This is one of the most violent expressions that we can imagine, is the dropping of bombs on people. And so we're all saying no to war, no exceptions.
I know what your answer is, but I'll have to ask this question anyway. Should the U.S. have attacked Iran?
No, there should be no attacks. There should be no bombing. The idea that dropping a bomb could bring peace is in and of itself absurd. We're based here in a city that lifts Dr. King up and nonviolence. We got to have everybody come out. We got to have folks out here across demographics, across class, across race, and make it clear that if any city should stand for nonviolence, then it has to be the city that Dr. King was birthed in. It has to be Atlanta. And so Atlanta says no to wars.
Similar question. Should the U.S. have stayed out of the war between Israel and Iran?
Absolutely.
About 15 minutes, so hang in there with us.
We should be, but have not been, peace brokers, calling for an end to war, because we know that after one bomb, there has to be retaliation. After another bomb, that's not what we can in any way support. So we're here. We're going to continue to be here. We're encouraging people. This attack, again, as we look at Dr. King and we think about his last year of his life, how he stood up against the Vietnam, we have to stand right now. Now is our moment. We cannot wait until it's too late. We have to stand right now and oppose this war and all wars.
What do you hope to come from actions like this?
We want to continue to raise people's consciousness. We want to continue to engage all of our communities. If we're against economic violence that happens because of gentrification, if we're against educational violence that happens because of miseducation, then we have to be against violence that happens all over the world. Because as Dr. King said, if it was a bomb dropped in Vietnam, it's a bomb being dropped here. If it's a bomb being dropped in the Middle East, it's being dropped here, and we have to end it now.
Molly, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me see if there's anybody else here.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're in their picture. Sorry. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. How are
We're
you?
Channel 5.
All right, nice to
Thank
meet
you so much. Good to meet you also. Was that okay? Josh, how are you, man? See you, man.
Sir? 1 second.
Please forgive me if I smell like citronella. I don't like getting bitten by mosquitoes.
Between the mosquitoes and the 104 degree,
Can
we're
I,
all trying to live.
really, can I get your first name, last name, and please spell?
Yeah, my name is Marissa Pyle, Marisa Pyle.
And are you with a particular group?
Yeah, I'm with Jewish Voice for Peace Atlanta. We're one of the sponsors of tonight's event.
Why protest? Why hold a vigil?
I think it's really important in this moment to show that all of us, no matter our faith, no matter what organization we're here representing, do not support war. We do not support aggression and escalation in the Middle East. We do not support the ongoing genocide that we've seen in Gaza. And we want to send a message to the administration that this must end and that we will not tolerate continued escalation.
I know what the answer is, but I have to ask the question anyway. Should the U.S. have attacked Iran?
Absolutely not. It is a strike that was illegal under international law. I think that is pretty cut and dry. And also, we have seen it as a continued pattern of escalation that started with Israeli strikes on Iran, and also this administration's insistence that it will somehow make us safer while it continues to destabilize the region and take our resources, millions of dollars that, should be invested into making our communities stronger and safer here at home.
The president justifies his attack, saying Iran sponsors terror. What goes through your mind as you hear that?
I think that that's part of the narrative that somehow these attacks will contribute to U.S. safety. And we saw that argument in the lead up to the war in Iraq. And what we have really seen is that time and time again, all this leads to is endless war. It leads to humanitarian tragedy. And it leads to this bottomless funding for military aggression. While it doesn't make us safer, and it doesn't lead to more stability, and it doesn't lead to better diplomatic outcomes.
And what do you want to come out of actions like this tonight?
I think I want people to know that there is a community of people who think and believe like them. I want to send a message to our political leaders that we do not support these strikes. We do not support the ongoing genocide in Gaza, and we are calling on our political leaders to demand an end and to take action to end these military conflicts and the continued funding for this military action.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I'm all sweaty, and I've got citronella all over me, so you don't want to touch it. Hi, how are you? What? Was it? Maybe we did. I thought we did, but because I was trying to reach you the night of when we were coming that shooting. Yeah.
And then look, 24 hours later they have it.
Yeah, right?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, 516 is my personal number. 519-4139.
How we feeling, community?
Yeah, because I was telling you supposed to.
Feeling good?
Yes.
All right. This is what resistance looks like.
516-519-4139.
This is what resistance looks like.
Yeah, because I was trying to reach you, I said, hey, where are you? Because we went to the police department. Where'd you end up going?
Yeah, the police department.
I didn't see that.
Show me what
Oh, you went to the police station? Okay, we have to have police.
Show me what democracy looks like. Does it look like dropping a bomb on our end?
Oh!
Does it look like starving Palestinians in Gaza?
No!
Does it look like unfunded schools in America?
No!
Does it look like starving people in America?
No!
Does it look like people not having housing
said that 100 people.
Bring it in just a little bit. Thank you. Let's get close, like we're family. Yeah, that's good. Yep. Bring it in. Thank you. Christopher.
Walk to the car real quick.
Christopher. Can we get some more music cranked up while we wait for a couple more speakers? Are we done? Got it. All right. We've got WRG here, y'all. Show some love for WRG. Progressive radio station in Atlanta who gives us real news. Real news. All right. Music is coming. Music is coming. We're going to get this started in about 5-ish minutes. care of yourself. Again, the movement requires that. So grab what you need.
I'm gonna hold this. Hold it.
I think all of us are pretty sure why we're here, but just in case you're uncertain why we're here because we believe what's happening to Iran is wrong. We believe that Iranians should be able to act with self-determination. We believe that what was done is not an act of courage. It's cowardice. We believe that that's not a show of strength, it's a show of weakness. And while we do want Trump to go, it's important that our focus is not just on him. This is about the system. This is about the U.S. imperialist war machine that has been wreaking havoc through this globe, splintering Africa for years. So this is about what's happening in Africa. This is about what's happening in Gaza. No genocide in Gaza! This is about what's happening at home. And if money, our tax money, wasn't going to the many wars that the U.S. has waged, then maybe we would have money at home for the things that we need. Yes? So that's also what today is about. So I want to ask Eric to come on up, Representative Eric Bell, who's representing Georgia District 75.
Liberators make noise! We gotta make noise for liberation! Make noise for education! Make noise for anti-segregation! Make noise for unification! Make noise against deportation! Because when we make noise, when we gather, we win! This land was made for freedom, so how dare we step on it, trample it, and push it from others. This war has been going on since I've been alive. It's insane for 30 years. We've been bombing. We've been occupying. We've been disrupting freedom in this world. Now right now what we stand on is a Palestinian Holocaust. Years ago, there was a diary of Anne Frank. How long before we get a new diary of a young lady or a young man from Palestine asking, where were you when they came for us? How long do we get a diary from a young Hispanic or maybe a young Afro-Latino male or female from America asking, where were you when they came for us? How long do we have to wait before the blood comes right down to the U.S.? Because this war is not just about our freedom, it's about our morality, it's about our humanity, it's about our future. Now, I grew up listening to hip-hop. So why in the hell do we have money for war but can't feed the poor? How in America can we have trillions of dollars for warmongering, sending bombs across, when the individual who shoots that bomb doesn't make it a year, and the one that is going to kill doesn't make it in a lifetime? Make it make sense, America. Now we shall not bow to a dictatorship. We shall resist. We shall fight in every form and facet. And if you missed the last time about a vote, make sure you get your ass out and vote this time. Because it's not a game. Our lives and very humanity are on the line. And when the genocide ends in Palestine, it will come to America. And I hate to sound like I'm mothering fear, but we must be clear. All our lives are on the line. Every single life here is on the line. War does not just stand on one border, but it comes to every household. It may come as a bomb in Vietnam, but it may come as deportation in America, de-education in America. It may come as destabilizing housing in America. So before this war is over, and before another war begins, we must stand here and stand with every person that breathes and lives on this earth as a friend. Thank you for being here. And keep up the fight. Resist, resist, resist. Free Palestine, free Sudan, free Gaza.
about where their tax dollars are going. Because the tax dollars are going to a genocide. Is it not? So talk to them about voting differently. It's crucial if we want to see change. Next up, will I have Bentley Hudgins. Will you come on up, Bentley? Thank you, friend.
Good evening, friends. My name is Bentley Hudgins. I use they, them pronouns. I work for a lot of folks, but today I'm representing myself. I want to address two things that the Western media continues to perpetrate on behalf of the queer community. Today, I stand full chest, 10 toes down in opposition and in condemnation of the genocide in Palestine, the plunder of the global South, and the American war machine. As a Japanese American, I understand that your country of origin can do atrocities to millions of people, and you face hardship in your country where you live, and both of those things can be true.
Yeah.
It does not take more than 2 brain cells to understand what is right and what is wrong, and genocide and murder is wrong. The two things I want to talk about today is I want to counter the narrative that the Western media gives us, that just because there's this Orientalist and racist lie that people in Asia are bad on queer issues, that they deserve to be colonized. Fuck that. One, I reject that argument on the premise that America is exceptional in its quest for equality, because it is not. Tell that to Chevy, who was shot in East Point by his cousin just because he was a trans man. Tell that to Henri, who was deported by the U.S. ICE machine after he sought asylum as a gay man in America. Tell that to my friend who was murdered. Tell that to me, who fights to be seen as a human being by this government every single day, when we have our government defunding an LGBTQ plus suicide hotline. So don't tell me that America is exceptional in its fight for equality, because it is not. I reject this argument on the second idea. Just because someone is being ruled by an autocratic government that is not right on equality does not mean that their life is worth less. It does not mean that just because they're under a regime that they get to be bombed in the name of equality. I reject that. I reject pinkwashing, and I reject people using equality as a tool of colonialism across this globe. You cannot claim a fight for equality while allowing the same president to defund Medicaid, to take away money from HIV funds worldwide. We were so close to having real, quick access to get rid of HIV worldwide, and Donald Trump ended that and started a war in West Asia. Every single time an American president is flailing and failing to deliver on the promise of America for working class people, they bomb Asia. And I'm tired of it. We cannot bomb our way into prosperity. We cannot plunder our way into prosperity. America, we deserve better. Atlanta, we deserve better. No war in Iran, no genocide in Palestine. Only peace is the answer. Ceasefire now!
Thank you, Bentley. Community, when we don't stand up like we are now, when we don't resist, the settler colonial project persists. It flourishes. Today, I stand representing Atlanta Multi-Faith Coalition for Palestine, but also I represent Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights. I'm co-chair of that organization. We organize specifically in the city of Decatur. And the reason I'm sharing that and why it's relevant is because of the t-shirt that I'm wearing. Remember Melinda. And because of that settler colonial project and the crimes of the U.S., of Europeans, this little girl was auctioned off and sold 2 times over, at least that we know of. Is that right, Mally? And that happened because of the settler colonial project. And those crimes of human trafficking and enslavement
are crimes that the U.S. needs to be held to account for. And the crimes that are happening in the Middle East are crimes that Israel and the U.S. needs to be held to account for. So we need you to keep standing up, keep speaking out, because this is what courage looks like. Next up, I want to call my brother Mally Davis, who's co-founder of Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights, and also with the Southern Center for Human Rights. Thank you, Mally.
Power to the people! Power to the people! Power to the people! Let's be clear. I know some of you all from organizing around police brutality. You all have been there when the police have murdered brothers and sisters in the city of Atlanta. You've been there. I know some of you all from organizing around the death of Cornelius Taylor, our homeless brother who was crushed under the weight of the city's forklift. We know some of you all organizing around fighting against miseducation, not allowing our young people to know their true history, because when you know your history, you become dangerous to a system that's trying to oppress you.
You're fine where you are. Can you come right
I
here?
know some of you all around the work of reparations, where we're demanding reparations. The 40 acres
Microphone
in the middle
is on.
But I'm here today as the president of the Georgia chapter of the National Conference of Black Lawyers to stand with you in solidarity, because I've seen you show up for us.
Can I get your first name, last name, please spell?
Shabnam Bashiri, Shabnam Bashiri.
And do you represent a particular group today?
I'm with American Friends Service Committee.
And you are Persian American, correct?
I am.
So when you see what's happening in Iran, what's going through your mind?
A lot of things. Heartbreak, fear, anger, a lot of anger. I think, this has been something that has been threatened for my entire lifetime. But that being said, I think nobody saw it coming. And, to have to be constantly checking in with family. Most of my family is still there, as many Iranian Americans have experienced. The internet has been out, and it's been hard to get in touch with people just to make sure that they're okay. So it's been a really...
Grandparents, cousins?
Aunts, uncles, cousins, all of it, yeah. My grandparents have passed, but yeah.
And why protest? Why be out here for this vigil today?
I think that I am a person who believes in the power of the people as a solution. I'm not sure what else I could do other than stand up and use my voice and try to take a stand not just against the bombing of Iran, but the continuing bombing of Palestine and Lebanon and Syria and all the other places of the world where innocent men, women, and children are being killed.
Should the U.S. have attacked Iran?
Absolutely not.
Why is that?
The U.S. has no right to attack a sovereign nation, regardless of whatever the reason is. They were, first of all, in negotiations, but again, it's a sovereign nation. This is an act of war. It's surprising that there is not more uproar over that.
Shabnam, what do you want to come from actions like this?
I hope that people learn, the propaganda against Iran is very, very strong. I've had to deal with it since I was an elementary school kid. And so I hope that people take the time to actually learn the truth and learn that oftentimes we are being told lies about other places in order to justify bombing them.
Shabnam, thank you so much.
Yeah,
have a good night.
But I say that the universe says to all of us that we're right on time. We're right on time to organize. We're right on time to resist. We're right on time to make it very clear. Atlanta says no to war. 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 But not enough. We have to also say no to genocide in Palestine. No genocide in Palestine. No. No. retreat. I'm calling on my brothers and sisters who have been organizing with us since Trayvon Martin was murdered. And we've been organizing in what is now called the Black Lives Matter era. I'm calling on all of those brothers and sisters to say, this is not the time to retreat. This is not the time to sit out and see what happens because there were some folks who voted into this madness. Nah, this is the time that we come together in love and courage and resist 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 and resist. Free the land! Free the land! Free the land by any means necessary.
Community, show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what resistance looks like. This is what resistance looks like.
There's a lot of lies being told, community, by this government. One of the lies that's being told is if you speak out against the crimes of Israel, you're anti-Semitic. Is that true? No! One of the lies being told is that if you stand with Palestine, you're anti-Semitic. Is that true? No! One of the lies being told is if you wear a keffiyeh, you're anti-Semitic. Is that true? No! Some other folks think that's also true, untrue rather. Amy, Jarrett, can you come up? We know the truth, and we have to preach that truth.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for coming out tonight, y'all. My name is Amy Jarrett. I organize here in Atlanta with Jewish Voice for Peace. As a Jewish Georgian, I'm here tonight opposing the U.S.-Israeli militarization, repression, and violence that continues to be perpetrated from Palestine to Iran to the streets of Los Angeles. But we have something else we have to do first. We need to pause. I've been taught by the Reverend Miko Shaban Cornell, Muskogee spiritual leader, that when I am going somewhere with a purpose, to stop and ask the land, ask the earth, may we come here? And we haven't done that yet tonight, y'all.
Yeah, I do every day.
We are gathered on Muskogee land. May we gather here to raise our voices, to protest against this war in Iran, against U.S.-funded genocide, against funding destruction instead of uplifting life. Really listen. Is Earth affirming what we are here to do? And if, like me, you were not raised in a tradition that teaches you to listen to the land, this might feel confusing or uncomfortable, and so sit with that and listen anyways. This moment demands of us, especially those of us who are white, who are of the owning class, who are in any minority with access to power in our community, that we learn to try to see from another's lens. If this is your first anti-war protest, welcome! And if you're seeing messaging tonight that you didn't know might be related to the war in Iran, listen. Is the land that supports life affirming our intention tonight? Miko Shaban Cornell teaches that this question and how we learn to hear for the answer is the first step towards transforming the world into the one we want to see, rooted in solidarity, in care, and in seeing each other's humanity. Would Earth give a resounding yes to the bombs we drop on her? To the destruction wrought by empire? Because we humans have yet to learn what Earth already knows, that every life is precious. In Jewish tradition, we refer to this teaching as B'Tselem Elohim. Every life is precious. This means we refuse to turn away from children starving in refugee camps in Gaza, just like we demand meaningful, lasting solutions for children in South Atlanta who do not know where their next meal is coming from. To declare every life is precious in Georgia is a prayer. We live in a state that just forced Adriana Smith onto life support for 4 months against her family's wishes. Forcing a medically induced delivery of her baby, a baby that the state of Georgia will not care for once alive. To say every life is precious is also a demand. Our government can find the dollars for bombs, for genocide, for imperialist aggression, while we are told that healthcare access and education funding is all too radical. But Selam Elohim, every life is precious, means we cannot be content with ending war alone. We must continue to fight for reinvestment in our communities so that we can do more than survive, but thrive and create true safety here at home. May no more bombs rain down on families. May no more steps be taken on the path to war with Iran. And may no more disappearances and brutality be inflicted on our communities across the United States. As we say, Kain Yehi Ratzon, may it be so.
Thank you, Amy. There are a lot of coalition partners that made this happen. Indivisible, Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights, many others. If you look at your flyer, you'll see who sponsored this event. So thank you to you, but a big, big, big thank you to AFSC who made this happen. Tim Franzen, this was with AFSC, and so is our next speaker. Shabnam, will you come up? Thank you, Shab, for being here.
Hey, y'all. My name is Shabnam Bashiri, and I'm with the American Friends Service Committee. I am also from Iran, and I have never been more proud to be Iranian. I'm not going to stand here and tell you about the turmoil of the last couple of weeks, about my aunties and cousins and friends who are living in fear, along with millions of others, about how beautiful Iran is, how modern it is, or any other reason why you should see us as human enough not to bomb us. For the last 20 months, we've all watched as a U.S.-Israeli genocide has been live-streamed on our screens. Just yesterday, it was reported that 400,000 Palestinians have been disappeared or missing in Gaza. That is on top of the over 60,000 who've been confirmed dead. And it's not just Gaza. It's the West Bank, it's Lebanon, it's Syria, and now Iran, where almost 700 people have been killed in just 10 days. What we are witnessing now is the culmination of a 100-year project, a calculated campaign to make the American public hate Iran, fear Iran, and ultimately accept war on Iran. Let's be clear, this is not about nuclear weapons, it's not about democracy or women's rights or any other of the other lies that you've been told. This is imperialism. This is about U.S. hegemony. This is what empires do to countries that don't play ball. For decades, the U.S. has waged war on Iran through crushing sanctions, military encirclement, assassinations, and a sophisticated propaganda machine. Why? Because the Islamic Republic, of which I am no fan, refuses to be plundered, because it stands with Palestine, because it blocks Western domination in the region, because it says no to the theft of our land, our oil, and our sovereignty. How can we in the U.S. dare to speak about freedom and human rights when we have masked, armed men snatching and disappearing people in our streets? The Iranian people are fully capable of determining their own future. Now they've started fear-mongering about Iranian sleeper cells here in the United States. This narrative only exists to criminalize Iranians, Muslims, and anyone who dares to stand in solidarity. And who will carry out this campaign of repression? Law enforcement trained right down the street here at Cop City, here in Atlanta, the most surveilled city in the United States. That's right, look into it if you didn't know. And guess who inspired this mass surveillance program? The IDF. These struggles are connected. They must be understood together.
My liberation and yours depends on it. Stop believing the lies. The Democrats are not going to save us. Get organized, get to know your neighbors, join mutual aid groups, build solidarity, and above all, resist. Resist, resist. No one is free until we're all free. Free Palestine.
We've got some marching orders to resist. And community, we save ourselves. We save ourselves. No Democratic Party. Shab said it. Next up, Lorraine, you ready? With Grandmothers for Peace. Welcome, Lorraine. Do you want to bring your chair?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, Lorraine Fontana with the Atlanta Grandmothers for Peace. As you probably can guess, if we're grandmothers now, we've been around a while, and some of us were for peace back in the Vietnam War days. That was when we started realizing what war was not the answer, that imperialism needed to be defeated in the world. And I think this group, this organization, started soon after 9/11 because we were about to invade a country that we said had weapons of mass destruction. And, Iraq was destroyed by us because of that lie. Does that sound familiar to you right now? Yeah, Iran, don't they have weapons of mass? Aren't they trying to build them or have them already? Not that everybody who really knows says no, but we say we have to protect ourselves, right? Who has the weapons of mass destruction? Who has it in the Middle East? Okay, Israel has them. Israel has them. We have more than any other country in the world, weapons of mass destruction. And if we look at what they're trying to do every year with the budget, it's always increasing our military budget. Every year. It doesn't matter Democrats, Republicans, that's what happens every year. So we are saying not only is war not the answer, but we want to think back on the MLK that I knew and loved, which is someone who realized that a nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of spiritual uplift, social uplift, is approaching spiritual death. I hope we still believe that we can stop that spiritual death spiral. And I'm only here because I hope that we can still do that. I will not stop trying to reverse that trajectory that we've been on and that we are on. And neither will all the grandmothers and the grandmothers for peace. As long as I have breath, and as long as we have breath, we will stand with everybody and join you all. As the Poor People's Campaign now is saying, we want an end to militarism, racism, poverty, and environmental devastation. And I think it's all summed up for me in the saying, justice for all beings, not just human beings, but all living things.
There's your chair, Lorraine. All right, thank you, Lorraine. And family, if you're staying connected to part of the messaging, then you understand this is about the intersection of our struggles. And if you understand the intersection of our struggles and you're paying attention to what's happening in Africa, what's happened in Africa, and you understand those crimes, and you understand why I'm calling up Kwami from Friends of the Congo. Baba Kwami.
Greetings and love, family. I want to give a big thank you to all the organizers of this very important event, standing now in a time of challenge and a time of injustice. As mentioned, I'm Kwami Wilberg. I'm with Friends of the Congo. That's a member organization of the Atlanta Multi-Faith Coalition for Palestine. We give thanks to our ancestors who struggled against injustice and imperialism and triumphed, by the way. That's how we got here. And we recognize the indigenous people, these stolen lands. I really appreciate what the sister said about speaking to the land. We give thanks and memory. I just want to read a quote. What is it? It says, "If I sit silently, I have sinned." It was said by Mohammed Mossadegh after the U.S. and British, the MI6 and the CIA overthrow of the legitimate government in Iran back in 1953. We have been here before. Dr. King said his own government is the greatest purveyor of violence in the world. It was true when he said it in 1967, and it is true today. The violence that we see in Western Asia, in Iran, the Congo, and Sudan have a U.S. hand in it. The same can be said in virtually everywhere in the world. The unfortunate thing is that it's being perpetrated in our names and our tax dollars. It is vital that we stand up, not only when the violence induced by the U.S. escalates, but every day, to challenge U.S. foreign policy, whether it be in Iran, Sudan, occupied Eastern Congo, or elsewhere in the world. This moment demands a global collective response. Wherever the empire rears its ugly head to destroy our brothers and sisters throughout the globe, we have a special responsibility in the heart of the empire to resist. We must resist until we have peace in Iran, a free Sudan, resist until we have a free Palestine, resist until we have a free Congo. It's not only what we're fighting against, evil and imperialism, we're fighting for the beloved community, we're fighting for Ubuntu, we're fighting for freedom and justice and peace for everyone.
Thank you, Baba Kwami, for reminding us not just what we're against, but what we stand for the humanity of all human beings, and we stand on love. Next up, can I have Matthew Nursey come up from DSA? Matthew?
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Hands off Iran!
Hands off Iran!
Hands off Iran!
Hands off Iran!
Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Nursey and I am with the Atlanta chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America, and we think that the workers should run society, because if the workers ran society, we would not be in these imperialist wars. We're here to say no to war with Iran. We're here to say no to genocide in Gaza. We're here to say stop sending your Gestapo Nazi tactics and keeping your hands off our immigrant neighbors. We're here in Freedom Park, which, commemorates the civil rights movement. And a big part of the civil rights movement was the coming together of labor, students, clergy, and organizers to stop the war in Vietnam and Cambodia. So we're carrying on that tradition here today. Ronald Reagan had a lot of bad ideas, and just like trickle-down economics, peace through strength is one of them. How can you bomb a sovereign nation in Iran and then claim peace? I honestly kind of get the feeling that this is kind of a distraction. A distraction from the apartheid and the genocide in Palestine. A distraction from the fascist deportations going on, from the National Guard being deployed in Los Angeles, and from the fact that our paychecks can't cover rent and food. Imperialism is the highest stage of capitalism. As we fight for land, resources, and control of the global market, the only way to prop up this house of cards we call a democracy is to spread our tentacles across the globe using violence. I was radicalized during the George W. Bush administration. I look younger than I am. So during that time, it was an imperialist war for profit, where they stripped our rights through the Patriot Act. And I'm seeing similar things here today. Trump and his fascist oligarchs are taking over the country. After we hit the streets in the wake of George Floyd's murder, Trump Volume 2 has completely purged the military state apparatus. Hegseth and Stephen Miller, we aren't just heading towards fascism. We've blown past the gates and we're full into town already. Fascism arises when capitalism is in extreme crisis. It's when the big business and the state consolidate into an alliance and tighten the grip on its citizens and squash dissent. It's the capitalist ruling class's emergency lever. The only way to crush fascism once and for all is to move beyond capitalism. And it's not enough to elect great people like AOC or Zohran Mamdani. If Bernie was elected, what could he feasibly get done without a mass movement of working people behind him? We need to change the way we perceive politics as a whole. Politics does not solely play out in the electoral sphere. The workplace is political. Your boss is exploiting you. Socialists have always advocated democracy should not end at the factory gates, that we want to democratize all aspects of social life. Your housing is political. Your landlord exploits you. Rents are rising. This creates higher property taxes and exacerbates the homelessness crisis. So there should be solidarity with renters and homeowners alike. We need to organize anyone and everyone so we can own the means of production, come together, and take power back from the 1%. Without our labor, the wheels of industry do not turn. Whether you make $100,000 a year or $25,000 a year, you probably don't own the means of production, and you are being exploited. There is no skilled labor. There is no unskilled labor. There is no division of physical or mental labor. It is just our labor. They cannot continue to feed the war machine if we withheld our labor in strategic industries. It's our labor that makes the world go round. And if we were to have a general strike with workers across the nation withholding their labor, led by unions and promoted and backed by elected officials, we could shut shit down. We bring capital to their knees, and the ruling class would have to make concessions. But it's not just about reforms. We have to overcome capitalism and move towards a more just economic system. Right-wing authoritarians around the world, endless war, the specter of climate change, and the future of humanity is in legitimate question. So by running campaigns, winning reforms, organizing the working class along the way, we can build a critical mass in the streets as well as in elected office to seize power and move towards socialism of the 21st century. So get involved with one of these organizations. I'm with DSA. We're running a candidate in this district right here, Kelsey Bond, for city council. So workers of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Cease fire now!
Cease fire now! Thank you, Matthew. Next up, I want to call Reverend Dr. LaMarcus Cook for some words for us. Thank you, Doc, for being here.
Thank you. Attorney Davis, you're right. I didn't receive an invitation at my door, but I did receive your Facebook post. And as a result of that, I am here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Brothers and sisters, though no lives were lost in the recent U.S. bombing in Iran, the moral weight remains heavy. Whether we come from faith, conviction, or conscience, we must ask ourselves, what kind of world are we building? Theologically, I'm from the black church community. We believe God calls us to be peacemakers. Real peace doesn't come through fear or force. It comes through compassion and justice. Philosophically, we affirm the value of every human life. When power is used carelessly, it harms the very dignity it's meant to protect. We stand against the use of violence to control or intimidate. Our tradition fights for freedom through fairness, truth, and human rights. We call on our leaders to choose understanding over aggression. We call on our communities to stay alert, speak up, stand for what's right with courage and conviction. And we encourage each and every one of you to stay united, but stay in the fight. And as John Lewis say, get into good trouble.
Thank you, brother. And last but not least, I want to invite up my friend, my comrade, Asuka Mammud, Executive Director of CARE, Georgia, and also member of Atlanta Multi-Faith Coalition for Palestine.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings of peace. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am so honored to be here today amongst you with brothers and sisters of conscience who are speaking out against these endless, perpetual, bad, illegal, unconstitutional, inhumane, and brutal wars. I want to talk a little bit about the Georgia Muslim community. The Georgia Muslim community here is diverse, just like many other communities. Muslims from many different countries call Georgia home. And there are also American-born Muslims whose families come from countries like Iran, from Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Pakistan like me. So when the US attacks countries abroad, Georgians feel a direct impact here at home. US military aggressions overseas in Muslim-majority countries create tremors of pain in our communities locally. Many of us lose loved ones daily in Gaza and Palestine. Many of us are unable to reach loved ones in Iran. Our families in Syria and Lebanon and Yemen are terrorized daily by US-supported Israeli strikes. And on top of that, Islamophobia and anti-Muslim incidents have reached an all-time high in the US and in Georgia. Here in Georgia, hate incidents against Muslims increased by 700% in 2024. Shame!
Shame! Shame!
And anti-Muslim hate across the USA has increased directly due to US participation in the genocide in Gaza. As we know, anti-Muslim rhetoric peddled by our highest elected officials puts American Muslims in mortal danger. We all know about 6-year-old Wadi al-Fayoum, who was murdered in cold blood by stabbing in his home in Illinois.
Shame! Shame!
We've all heard of the 3 young college students in Vermont who were shot, and one of these young men is paralyzed for life.
Shame!
A Muslim man was stabbed in an unprovoked attack in Austin, Texas, and a 3-year-old Muslim child was attempted to be drowned also in Texas. Here in Georgia, in Warner Robin, a teacher was arrested because he threatened to behead a Palestinian student.
Shame!
And this is all because the US cannot stop dehumanizing Muslims and brown people at home and abroad. This is all because the US is hell-bent on pursuing a white supremacist state and to uphold an extremist Zionist ethno-state in the Middle East. And this dehumanization is not new. Since the 1950s, the US has been in the business of regime change by hook or by crook to wield influence across the globe in Asia, in Africa, and in South America. It has waged wars in the Middle East since the 90s on one pretext or another. And of course, more recently, we have been forced to witness 636 days of a non-stop genocide, which has already claimed the lives of hundreds and thousands of innocent civilians, like Shabnam just mentioned. And the truth is that the true extent of the human toll of the US aid to Israel's illegal wars will not be measured for years after it's over, and the impact will last for generations to come.
That's right.
Millions of Palestinians are currently starving, are being starved, and are at risk of immediate death. Now, the United States' participation and aiding and abetting and supporting of the bombing in Gaza is not only against our own constitution and laws, it's also against international laws, but it's against basic human values. It's against our basic humanity. It does not only harm people elsewhere in the world, but in the US right here. These weapons and surveillance techniques and torture techniques that are developed in Israel are imported and used on black and brown people, black and brown Americans, every day.
That's right.
You think a homeless person was bulldozed to death by chance? No, that's a dehumanization technique and torture completely illegal disregard for human life that comes straight from Israel. Now, make no mistake, it is our tax dollars that are funding this genocide in Palestine. Like it or not, we become complicit against our will. It is our hard-earned money that's being spent to supply endless weapons to slaughter innocent civilians. A single B-2 stealth bomber, several of which were used in Iran, costs $2.1 billion each. And so billions of our tax dollars have been sent to Israel, tax dollars that could and should have funded our schools. They should have funded our housing, our healthcare, our infrastructure, our disaster relief, and our economy. Tax dollars that should have supported our veterans, that should have given our children free school meals or paid teachers a livable salary. Instead, they subsidize healthcare and education for Israelis. Our tax dollars subsidize illegal settlers who move to Israel from Brooklyn, from Atlanta, and from Los Angeles to Tel Aviv. How long will Americans be forced to give up their right to healthcare and housing and food and education in the service of the state of Israel? How long must we pay taxes so that Israel can kill and terrorize our families and loved ones in overseas? And how long must Americans sacrifice their blood, sweat, and tears only for the US and Israel to sow chaos in the world? How long? The US attacks on Iran this weekend are deeply unpopular with the American public. Most Americans reject wars. We reject forever foreign wars. We reject our sons and daughters being sent to kill and maim innocent civilians abroad in service of a bloodthirsty empire. We cannot let a few bloodthirsty Zionists and warmongers to drive our country and world to madness. We must prioritize our Constitution and human values. We must stop ICE that's currently kidnapping and disappearing people without due process. It is up to our communities and leaders, and it's time for our leaders to prioritize American citizens and our communities' needs. It's time that we stand together and demand that the USA says no to war. 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 Thank you.
All right, community, before we get our marching orders from Tim from AFSC, we've raised our voices, we've chanted. Please go ahead and take out your candle. We're going to take a moment of silence. And in this moment of silence, we want to remember those starving in Gaza. We want to remember the blood that's been shed abroad in Iran, throughout the Middle East. We want to remember what's happening in Sudan. We want to remember the children and the women in Congo. We want to remember those who have been disappeared off of the streets of America. We want to remember our political prisoners here and abroad. We want to remember those who are unhoused here and abroad. We want to remember those who are without food. We want to remember our ancestors, whomever they may be. We want to remember those who are without appropriate resources for mental health because of the traumas that they face under this imperialist empire. We want to keep all those individuals in mind, in heart, in spirit. So let's take that moment of silence.
right, thank y'all. Thank y'all. We want to wrap up, and tonight we all want to go home together. Tonight's a night that we want everybody to go home safely, so we even have peace marshals here prepared to walk folks, because we got a couple of hostiles out here. Y'all just saw that situation. But, you know, thank God we're trained out here. You see those folks wearing the vests? Thank God for them. Thank God y'all are here. You know, every single one of them dealt with that very aggressive guy that was ready to slug one of us just perfectly. Couldn't have done it more perfect. So, you know, we're trained, and I really appreciate y'all. And in fact, if you're a marshal or you're in the group chat, I'm going to ask you to do something right now, because we have a next step. Tonight was really about us collectively mourning, collectively sharing our outrage, and finding each other, because there's more work to be done, right? This is not the end of something, it's the very, very, very beginning of something. And so we want to continue to work together. So I'm going to ask folks to open your phone. Now, if you're a marshal, get in your group chat, and you're going to see a QR code in there. If you're on the main group chat for this event, go ahead and open your phone, and you're going to see a QR code. That QR code, it takes you to a sign-up sheet. It takes you to Bitly. If folks that know Bitly, it's Bitly No War Atlanta. But I want to ask, if you're a volunteer, if you could open your phone and start going through the crowd. Do I see some hands holding their phones up? Let's make it easy for people to find us. Where are you at? You might want to put your sign down. Come on here, start working the crowd. I know, you're holding that banner. Hands to these people holding these banners the whole event. Give them a hand. Now, I want to ask them to lay their banner down or give it to someone else and start moving through the crowd. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sir, step away from me. Yeah. Okay. We're not going to have this right now, officers. We can deal with this man later, but we're closing our event out. He has threatened to punch several people, so just get him away from us. Get this aggressive guy away from us. We ain't dealing with him right now. So we want, if you got the phone, I want you to move through the crowd. Click on that QR code. Don't engage with him, y'all. No war. No war. No war. No war. No war. All right, so we want to make sure everybody signs up, because there's going to be a next step. And we're going to continue to organize. Today is a start. And I am going to actually pass the mic to my sister in movement here while I deal with this situation. But make sure that you sign up and forward together, not one step back.
The people united will never be defeated!
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 No war on Iran!
No war on Iran!
No war on humanity!
No war on humanity!
No war on freedom of speech!
No
from WRFG for providing us with a sound system, and thank y'all for being patient as I dealt with a really crazy situation. But he is gone, and so we're all safe to go back. And I just want to shout out to DSA too, because apparently people are really upset with the government right now. They might have got some mayor elected in New York. Look for next steps. Sign up on the QR code. We love you.
Yep, I heard you. Thank you guys for coming out. Yeah. I'd say probably grouped about a couple hundred.
I wouldn't say more than 175.
Okay, I'll say about 150.